Most common antithrombotic regimen for giant coronary artery aneurysms in Kawasaki disease. A. Low dose aspirin alone. B. Low dose aspirin plus warfarin. C. Low molecular weight heparin. D. Unfractionated heparin. Correct answer B. Low dose aspirin plus warfarin. Giant coronary aneurysms in Kawasaki disease have a high risk of thrombosis. Most commonly used treatment is low dose aspirin along with dose adjusted warfarin. Aneurysms with proximal and distal stenosis have a higher chance of thrombosis due to higher platelet activation by shear stress at the stenosis and eddy currents within the aneurysm. Presence of a chronic thrombus within the aneurysm is also prothrombogenic. Surgical management of aneurysm is by coronary artery bypass grafting. Excision and plication of aneurysms have not been successful options, sometimes leading to even mortality. Which of the following cancer has the highest relative risk of venous thromboembolism? A. Pancreatic cancer. B. Brain cancer. C. Multiple myeloma. D. Colonic cancer. Correct answer C. Multiple myeloma. Multiple myeloma has 46-fold risk of venous thromboembolism than healthy controls, while brain cancer has 20-fold and pancreatic cancer 16-fold relative risk. But by absolute numbers, most episodes occur with lung, colon, and prostate cancer. Chemotherapy confers 6-fold extra risk, though chemotherapy per se is not considered an indication for prophylactic anticoagulation in ambulatory patients. The exception being multiple myeloma chemotherapy based on thalidomide or lenalidomide. Commonest arrhythmia in pulmonary embolism. A. Atrial tachycardia. B. Ventricular tachycardia. C. Atrial fibrillation. D. Ventricular fibrillation. Correct answer C. Atrial fibrillation. Commonest ECG abnormality in acute pulmonary embolism is sinus tachycardia. The classical ECG finding in acute pulmonary embolism is S1Q3T3 pattern, though it may not be seen in many cases. Advantage of loop diuretics. A. Greater diuresis for the same degree of natriuresis. B. Useful even in the presence of renal impairment. C. Escalation to high doses feasible. D. All of the above. Correct answer D. All of the above. Their dose-response relationship is linear and steep. Coronary artery aneurysm in Kawasaki disease is most common at A. Proximal left anterior descending coronary artery. B. Distal right coronary artery. C. Left main coronary artery. D. Left circumflex coronary artery. Correct answer A. Proximal left anterior descending coronary artery. Coronary aneurysms in Kawasaki disease are most likely to occur in proximal left anterior descending coronary artery or proximal right coronary artery. Next common sites would be left main coronary artery and left circumflex coronary artery. Less common than these locations would be distal right coronary artery and the junction between right coronary artery and posterior descending coronary artery. While proximal coronary imaging is relatively easy in a child, imaging the distal coronary territory by echocardiography can be challenging and requires special angulations and meticulous observation. The measured coronary diameter should be compared with the mean values for the particular body surface area. More than or equal to 2.5 standard deviations for the given body surface area. Set score 2.5 or more is taken as significant coronary artery dilatation in Kawasaki disease. Measurement of left anterior descending coronary artery is given more importance than left main coronary artery because of higher chance of anatomical variation in size of left main coronary artery. Smoking reduces life expectancy in females by about A. 5 years, B. 10 years, C. 15 years, D. 20 years. Correct answer C. 15 years. Smoking reduces life expectancy in males by about 13.2 years and about 14.5 years in females compared to non-smokers. Dyslipidemia in metabolic syndrome is characterized by A. High triglyceride and low high density cholesterol, B. High density cholesterol and low triglyceride, C. Low triglyceride and high density cholesterol, D. None of the above. Correct answer A. High triglyceride and low high density cholesterol. In addition, it is associated with a high fasting blood glucose level as well. Hypertension and abdominal obesity are the important components of metabolic syndrome. Principal route of elimination of unfractionated heparin: A. Renal, B. Hepatic, C. Reticuloendothelial system, D. None of the above. Correct answer C. Reticuloendothelial system. Unfractionated heparin, being a large molecule, is eliminated mainly by the reticuloendothelial system like abciximab. Renal excretion plays only a minor role in the elimination of unfractionated heparin from the body, and hence it can be used with better safety profile in the presence of renal dysfunction. In contrast, a significant amount of low molecular weight heparin, most commonly used being enoxaparin, is eliminated by renal excretion, about 40% by glomerular filtration, and hence dose has to be reduced in renal insufficiency. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel for future updates and click on the bell icon for all updates. Thank you.